everybody. I kind of feel like I'm that poor singer that had to come on stage in Liverpool after the Beatles finished. You have all these amazing people from Sweden, and then you have to listen to me speak to you for the next 10 minutes. So I want to say how much of an honor it is to be here today, first and foremost, to have the chance to share the stage with some of our amazing partners and to see the unbelievable things that are being built on Anthropic and Claude and our models today. I had a chance last night to sit with 10 founders for dinner, and I can't stress enough how exciting a moment we're in right now in this city. It's truly amazing to see the energy and the innovation that's happening on a daily basis. I've been so impressed with the conversations and the forward thinking and the pace of growth that we're seeing in this city. It's an amazing time. So today I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about the 4 different stories that we've heard. And my role a little bit here is to talk about how we've ended up at this position that we're in now and the future state that we're going towards going forward. To be able to describe how these amazing companies have been able to innovate and been able to change really old historical ways of working, finance, law, GTM, and software, and been able to innovate them in such unbelievable ways. To do that, I want to spend a little bit of time talking about the progress and acceleration of AI. In 2017, we had transformer architecture. In 2020, scaling laws launched, and what we saw was that the bigger the models were, the better that they actually were. In 2022, ChatGPT enabled to put the innovation into people's hands and to give mass adoption. In 2024, we saw agents and agentic AI launching for the first time. And in 2025, what we're really seeing is that human collaboration with the AI workforce. This is not a linear progression. Every 2 to 3 years, a new capability shift arrives that changes what's possible. The question is never if, it's when and whether you're ready. So there's 4 unlocks really that arrived together. The underlying shift was that models moved from predicting the next word to reasoning through problems. Extended chains of thought that plan, self-correct, and act. Reason models the chain logic across steps to solve problems, not just complete sentences. Reliable tool use. AI call systems which read outputs, decides, and acts again. That's what creates the autonomous loop that we saw from Strawberry today. Multimodal understanding. This allows us to take a picture of a receipt and for AI and the model to read this as if it was a human and be able to take action. No pre-processing required, an ability to be able to execute in a matter of seconds. The launch of long context memory, entire code bases, allowing case files, deal histories to be able to process without forgetting what happened in the steps previous. This allows it to held in context and be able to execute them once. But it isn't just those capabilities individually. It's all 4 capabilities together. That's what's really making professional automation real. That's what's bringing these 4 amazing companies that we've heard from today to life and allowing them to really move at speed. This is what really makes the day-to-day change and some of the innovation that we're seeing for professionals going forward. There's 3 key areas that we really consider in this situation. The first is professional workflows. Multi-step tasks that require context, not just recall. A contract review is actually 50 chain questions, each depending on the last answer. Regulated environments. For those that are working in finance and in legal, this is not a nice to have, this is a necessity, and this is a main requirement. Accuracy and traceability matter. Long context and reasoning means AI can be more accurate and it can also be audible. That combination is new. 2 years ago, this wasn't able to happen. And these industries that are extremely heavily regulated, this is critical, and this is why we're able to move forward in a new way today. Lastly, the multi-system tasks. Tool use means AI can move across your stack. CRM, contracts, ledgers, in a single workflow, not inside one app. Previous silos are now being removed and allows us to move at a much different pace than what we were previously. But I have to be very honest and be able to highlight that things do remain hard. There are still challenges that are at place today. There are challenges that we all face from a daily basis, be it from an innovation, from a product perspective, or for how we adopt AI in our day-to-day. Grounding the optimizing is still what requires humans. AI is becoming highly capable at execution. Aligning intent and ownership, that still sits with humans. There are 4 key areas that we really have to consider in this situation. The first is the judgment and the value trade-offs. When a clause is ambiguous or clients have competing interests, that still requires a human judgment. Accountability and responsibility. AI holds no liability. The lawyer, the CFO, or the AE do. Ownership sits with the human. Ambiguous or poor defined goals. AI executes what it's actually being asked. It will give you an amazing answer, but maybe it's to the wrong question. Defining the right objective still requires human domain expertise. Lastly, human trust and adoption. The fastest blocker to AI ROI isn't actually technical, it's cultural. Trust is built with time and evidence. This is one of the biggest challenges that we see on a daily basis with our customers. There's typically a top-down approach or a mandate from a business point of view to start adopting AI into the workflow, but people's behavior is reluctant to change. And this takes time, it takes trust, and you need to understand the impact that it can have for you on your day-to-day basis. It's really important that we look at this from a very specific framework. AI executes, but humans still own. This is not a limitation. It's actually the architecture. The lawyers, the CFOs, the executives, and the developers that we've heard about today are not being replaced. They are being promoted to principal. They are the owner. Let's look at the future straight and the direction that we're going. Initially, when we talked about the brief for this talk, we talked about where do we think the direction is going to go in the next 12 to 24 months. In this game, it's impossible to predict even the next 3 to 6 months, let alone the next 12 to 24 months. There are some key areas that I want to focus on, from tools to operational collaborators. The first is more autonomous task execution. We've seen some brilliant examples of this today, of end-to-end ownership of defined workflows, AI initiatives that act and close loops without step-by-step human hand-holding. Cross-system and cross-workflow agents. AI agents that work across your CRM, your email, your contracts, and your code in a single workflow, not siloed inside one product. Conversational interfaces to complex systems. You ask, it acts. The ledger, the code base, the case file. Access to plain language, no training required. Lastly, faster organizational learning loops. Every override and correction becomes a signal. Organizations that capture this feedback compound. Those that don't stay flat. Every time you have an interaction with AI and you correct the AI, that's a signal that gets sent to the model. How companies capture that information and that correction is what's going to allow these organizations to move faster by creating that learning loop within the business. The window is open. The companies that move in the next 12 months at this speed will compound. The ones that will wait will catch up on someone else's terms. We have two amazing examples of Lovable at over 200 million ARR and Legora at 1.8 billion. These are companies that are built on cloud, built in Stockholm, and they're showing how things can be done with a small, innovative, driven team who are capturing the opportunity that sits in front of them and who are moving at a speed and pace that has never been seen before. This is not the future, this is the present. This is the opportunity that exists in front of each person in this room today. Every generation gets one moment when the tools change faster than the rules. This is our moment. AI handles the execution. What you do with that freedom is entirely up to you. Thank you very much.
Thanks.